the shareholder. The Lemon's problem is the market in the marketplace for the birds, the customers, the business, the producers, and also the arena of the investing related to its parity in the perceived value of the investment between the buyer and the shareholder. Okay, lemon problem is also prevents in the financial sector area, including insurance and the credit market. For example, this related to corporate finance and the leader has a symmetrical or less than the ideal information regarding the actual credit worthiness of the borrowers. Okay, for example, the poor company or the lower financial performance company, they will to think many ways to increase their credit because they can issue a bond to borrow more money. But the investor, they buy their bonds like the lemons. Okay, we go to see a video for lemon problem.
根本没洗干净，眼睛看不见的脏污会吃。
Bill wants to buy a 5-year-old Model ABC car. We'll assume he's only interested in this exact model and age. In his city, there are 20 such cars for sale. The problem is this: they are not all alike. Some of the cars have several frequently fitting problems and can become a headache for the new owners, cars usually referred to as lemons. Other owners have been luckier or more careful when it comes to maintaining their vehicles, perhaps both, and as such, their cars are very good. Unfortunately for Bill, each seller knows how good or bad his car is because he's had it for enough time to figure this out. Bill, however, doesn't, and this is a case of information asymmetry, a type of imperfect information which leads to quote-unquote market failures, as some economists call them. We'll say a fair price for a lemon is $5,000 and the fair price for a very good car is $10,000. Bill doesn't want to pay $10,000 because he has to factor in the risk of the car turning out to be a lemon, so he will try to go as close to $5,000 as possible. Lemon sellers are happy enough with the state of affairs, whereas those who own very good cars are not, and will be tempted to leave the market and simply keep their vehicles. Such scenarios have been described in George Akerlof's famous The Market for Lemons 1970 paper, with him actually receiving the Nobel Prize for his information asymmetry-related research. However, do keep in mind that not everyone agrees with this perspective, and especially the proposed regulation to fix things, with, let's say, libertarians being against the market intervention in such cases, stating that entrepreneurs can step in and find solutions, for example, specialized marketplaces, auto buyer consultants, and so
on. Okay, so in the used car market in Taiwan, we have a certification for used car market.
Also change percent, adverse selection, and the lemons problem. Imagine that the appearance of all fruit has changed.
Okay. Our government, the second-hand car market, they have a certification for second-hand car in Taiwan. They must avoid the level problems between the seller and the buyer. Okay, adverse selection impact the market. In the economic theory, the market assumed to be effective, efficient, and that everyone have a full perfect information. So we also call the market is the perfect market in the economic theory, but it's not real. So when some have more information than others, they can take advantage of those informed open to their detriment. This create market inefficiencies, and they will increase the cost. What kind of cost? The cost about the cost from the maybe they increase the price or prevent the transaction from occurring. So in the stock market, in the world, the stock market is a nature, the information's asymmetry market. We not get more or previous or early, we not to get more information earlier, okay? But someone have, someone can't. For example, the company, they issue the new shares, the note about their internal finance, or the earning before the general public, maybe the insider interference, right? Insider interference. We can go, maybe the insider is the CEO, CFO, or the product holders. They can to know and get full information about the firms. Okay. They maybe they have a moral hazard to related to cause of inside trading. It's a illegal behavior in the market. Okay. The vendor who's in the non-profit from the stock trading before the public announce the inside trading, the means the insider the use the for information before the information announcement, that which is a legal behavior. So on the other way, while the large holders of the company store the make public, this information only is emitted on the quarterly accounts. Okay, in Taiwan, our government asked all the less different masters to announce the monthly reports, right? Or quarterly reports. And then the health announced report and health annual report and the semi-annual report and the annual report. And the other way, the listing firm have tiny important information they must announce to go to the website or go to the exchange, the stock exchange, such as TWSE or TPEX, the Taipei Exchange or Taiwan Exchange. Okay, they must go to the website to announce the important information for public. Okay, the next is made list of players in the market that have a particular background. For example, a stronger desire or need to buy or sell. That is not annoyed by investing in the public. The other, okay, for public is a repeat. The next concentrated assumptions made by the mainstream economy and the financial model. Information is not symmetry, acceptable and available to all the actors in the market. In the real world, we usually have a symmetry information. We have a symmetry information. Okay. A user and a producer can often have a far more information without what they are selling than do the buyers. So, the next question: what adverse selection one of the risk inference? Maybe some risk from adverse selection. For example, the Lemon province, right? The Lemon province. Okay. Please go to your field, answer these questions. Okay. 5 minutes for everyone. you can use the ChatGPT, but don't copy it.
So they had the information, they sat. That's when they were just as guilty as the fraudsters in perpetuating the scheme. They knew about it and did nothing about it.
HSBC didn't comment on the fraud case, but said it has been on a multi-year journey to overhaul its ability to combat financial crime. But the files show the secret story is that banks often don't stop crime and suspect behaviour. The leak is a suspicious activity report. What banks have to tell the authorities if they think their clients may be up to no good.
These documents contain some of the banking system's most closely guarded secrets, the suspicions big banks have about their wealthiest clients. And they show how the system has failed to stop criminals from laundering their cash.
Because banks have to send the reports, but they don't all act on them.
This is an unprecedented and remarkable leak that tells us, as never before, what banks know about suspicious money movements.
There's never been a leak like it before. The secret reports show the way banks have really been behaving, placing the UK at the heart of global money laundering, which is doesn't misuse.
Okay. For the two videos that tell about the HSBC, the anti-money laundering, they don't avoid the money laundering. So I think it's a very serious international finance. Okay, the next, a legal risk. A legal risk is referred to the potential for the financial or reputational results resulting from the failure to adhere with a rule, regulation, or control obligations that govern a company's business activities. Those risks are manifest in many ways and can vary widely depending on the nature of the business or organization. The justification is the operative weapon and the applicable rules. It is essential to understand the type of a legal risk to effective management. The legal risk we can separate two parts. The one of the common type of the legal risk is contract risk. It is occurred when the one party to a contract fail to fulfilling its obligations leading to the breach. For example, the mine could not deliver the goods or services on time, and not meeting specified quality standard, or the batch of or the company that defaults on the contract agreements. The business that fail to match their contract risk could affect the monetary penance or integration, or event the reputational damage. The first one is from the contract, and the next one, the second one, is from the lawsuit. Okay. Integration risk is one of a legal risk. Arise about potential legal actions initiated against the company. For example, the risk could result from the worst consequences such as a dispute over the contract and relationship issue. Okay. In the last week, we just talked about the TSMC have a lawsuit in the recent weeks, right? This is about the employee relations. Okay, the faculty process or the customer complaints is important to note the case of that integration. Integration extends beyond the monetary penalties imposed. Is create the legal fees and the cause of potential damage to the company reputations.
自信、勇敢带给人力量和治愈，就是最美的。以前对
TSMC is getting more than $11 billion in federal assistance to build 3 manufacturing fabs in Phoenix. But this lawsuit claims the company is repeatedly breaking federal law.
From what we can tell and what we've heard and what we allege, there is a cultural preference for one type of person.
Daniel Kachin is one of the attorneys who filed the suit. It claims TSMC has willfully disregarded diversity commitments it made while applying for federal grants. Half of the 2,200 people currently working at TSMC Arizona are visa holders from Taiwan.
That cultural preference, we believe, is what's dictating their hiring, promotion, and termination practices. The cultural preference cannot stand.
The lawsuit details a long list of claims, including that TSMC filters out U.S. candidates by asking applicants for their national origin, and lists Mandarin as a requirement in job postings even when it's not really essential. On the job, the suit claims American workers are treated more harshly, with higher-ups bullying some employees into resigning and then replacing those who quit with Taiwanese locals. It also says American construction workers are constantly berated and expected to work long hours without pay, and it says their safety complaints have been ignored. This week, state regulators fined TSMC for an incident in May when a blast from a pressurized waste truck killed a worker.
TSMC needs to understand that here in the U.S., we expect that, and they should be held accountable to treat all races, all national origins, all citizens equally.
A spokesperson for TSMC said the company won't comment on pending litigation, but they said that TSMC believes strongly in the value of a diverse workforce, and we hire and promote without regard to gender, religion, race, nationality, or political affiliation. You can read that full statement right now on azfamily.com. Derek Stahl.
I think the TSMC goes to the Europe, they have the same problems, right? I think they have the same problems. But the problem from the relationship between the company and the employees. The final risk is financial risk. Okay, the financial risk is a possibility of losing the money on investments, on an investment or a business venture. The some common is a common and distinct the financial risk. They include the credit risk and the liquidity risk and so on. They can result in the loss of the capital to interested parties. The corporation also faces the possibility of the default on the debt by undertaking, but they may also experience a failure in undertaking that cause the financial burden on the business. So the financial risk generally related to the order of the lost money. The financial risk is most commonly refers to the possibility that friends to cash flow to improve will prove in the document to meet its obligations. The financial risk can also apply to government default on the bond. For example, the interest policy for the central bank. The other way, the credit risk, liquid risk, and asset-backed risk, foreign investment risk, quality risk, and currency risk. We also call it exchange risk. Are all common from the form of the financial risk. So, in the investment, the investor can use many financial products to avoid the financial risk. Okay. The other way, the investors can use several financial risk ratio. They also have tools to assess a company perspective.
这是我大儿子，这是我小女儿，她51岁了，还是一样有热情、有活力、善存。
This video from Stanford University is about the financial risk management. contact